Trailblazers Africa. My name is Moses Owopade. Last week, I promised that I'll be bringing the concluding part of the interview I had with the Honorable Mayor of Accra, talking about Honorable Alfred Okofandapore. But, something is happening right here in Africa. When I say right here, not really in Ghana, but we are looking at the continent of Africa. Don't forget that the program is to celebrate African potential, and the only way we can celebrate this potential is when there is peace. A nation or a society that is in crisis will not produce any potential. You understand what I'm talking about? So if you have been waiting for the concluding part of the interview with Fandapore, please, that will be coming your way next week. I have to do this as a very smart one or a very fast one because of the crisis that is going on in one of the greatest African countries, if you like, the most populous nation on the continent of Africa. Talking about Nigeria. Nigeria had an election in April 2011, and going to a year now, it has been one issue or the other, but it got to a climax around December when a group of people who were alleged to be Boko Haram started bombing some churches, individuals, but that is not also enough. Recently, the government is saying that should be removed, or they want to remove the subsidy. So today, I have some gentlemen and a lady in the house. We'll be looking at this crisis and how we can, avert maybe any trouble that it could create. And in the course of the program, I'll also be speaking on phone with some people, especially Bashorun, Dele Momodu, the publisher of Ovation Magazine International. He is also one of the candidates that contested for the presidential election in April 2011. What does he have to say about this crisis that is going on in the country? As I speak with you, it has been said that today, as at the time of recording this program, the oil workers in Nigeria have decided to down tools, meaning that the crude oil will no longer be, working from now. The workers have down tools. So today we'll be looking at all this and how we can avoid the problem. I have a very, very large house. I have with me a barrister to my immediate left, Barrister Tosin Ojaomo. He's a legal practitioner. I'd like to welcome you to Trailblazers Africa. Well, next to him is a colleague and friend. He's a radio presenter here in Accra, Ghana, Loaded Mama. How are you doing? I'm good. And very, very close to her is the president, the acting president, I beg your pardon, of all Nigerian community in Ghana. He's also the publisher of Next International Magazine. His name is Mr. Bayor Asaolu. I'd like to welcome you to Trailblazers Africa.
It's a pleasure.
Last, and is the gentleman, some of us, we saw him in several protests. He is the president of National Association of Nigerian Students in Ghana, Michael Opeyemi. Welcome.
Revolutionary greetings.
All right, now. Well, revolutionary greeting. Now, let me start with you. Revolutionary greeting. What do you mean by revolutionary greeting?
That is our slogan.
Okay.
Student Union Body.
Okay.
We greet our comrades.
Okay.
So revolutionary greetings.
Revolutionary greeting. Now, talking about the comrade, we have seen a lot of protests in Nigeria. And it appears that, are we likely to see anything positive out of these protests?
Yes, as you can see, the last broadcast of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the 7th, the cogent thing he said there was that there's going to be a cut in the expenditures like 25%. So what led to that was actually the protest. So a lot of people have asked this question that where is this going to lead us? But I tell you that something big is coming out of this protest, and it's a creative protest. We will always embark on creative protests. We don't mean any harm. It's just a way of registering our dissatisfaction.
Dissatisfaction about the oil subsidy?
Yes.
Now, let me talk to the president of all Nigerian community, Mr. Bayor Asaolu. Now, we've had issues of burning of independent National Electoral Commission offices, governors, campaign offices, and should that be the answer to the oil subsidy?
Basically, no. If you say the people are protesting concerning oil subsidy, you can see that they are the people, the labor people who are doing it peacefully. They are not meant to do it in a violence world. But in this case, the political opponents who are taking this advantage of the protest to show their grievances, maybe to be able to disrupt the present government. I think that is the reason why they are doing this violence thing. They are
Now,
doing.
would you say that this oil subsidy, the removal of the oil subsidy, is what Nigeria need at this point? Now, looking at the situation, the background of what had been happening, the Boko Haram, and in the midst of the crisis, we are not talking of oil subsidy. Should that be, is it the right time?
Far from it. This is a wrong decision. I mean, the wrong peg in the wrong hole. Because it can be a solution or a decision that could be, do us good. But the timing was too bad. And the decision is too harsh on people during the time the decision came. But for instance, let's say, even if you want to do something like this, as a president of a nation, you need to start from top. First of all, handle the issue of corruption in the system. Not that maybe when you are not taking this kind of decision, the poor people, the masses suffer what you people have been doing. You know, because, for instance, let's see, if you look into the salary of the Senate, the House of Representatives, to the council, local council, you cannot compare the salary with even a lecturer in the university. This thing has made it so competitive for everybody to want to be one of these people. So these are causing a lot of problem in the country. And there are a lot of corruption.
We have made politics to be very, very,
very attractive.
You understand? Okay. Now, permit me to come to you, Loaded Mama. Loaded Mama is a presenter, and looking at the image that the country is having now, Nigeria, what would you say Nigeria really, what role would you say Nigeria is playing to the rest of African countries?
Well, I think I would say that for now, I want to say that Nigerian, when we look at what is happening so far, we cannot boldly say that Nigerian is playing any positive role at all. We are not painting any positive, picture the way it's supposed to be. We are known to be giant of Africa in terms of everything. Some people may argue about that, but as far as I know, we are giant. And as such, we should behave. But unfortunately, this is not what is happening right now. And I think we will put this on our leaders and not mere Nigerians. We're not playing any positive role at all.
No.
It's not a good one.
Well, the lawyer is right here. He's also the coordinator of Safe Nigerian Group, led by one of the very pastors in Nigeria, Pastor Tunde Bakare. Now, let's look at the oil subsidy. May I ask you, being a lawyer, what are we even talking about? Subsidy. Has there been any subsidy? Are we subsidizing anything? What are we removing?
It's very, very unfortunate that the Jonathan government from his day one...
His Excellency, President Jonathan.
Well, Jonathan is Jonathan, and whether he likes it or not, that's his name. But the point that I'm trying to bring out is that Jonathan government from day one has been a deceitful government. This government has always been run on deceit. But now, we are seeing a different side of the government now. Because people have been complaining that Jonathan government is weak. But the government is moving from being a weak government to a wicked government. That's what is happening now.
Now, how do you mean from weak to wicked?
Yeah. When Jonathan was campaigning, he promised that he told Nigeria that one of the achievements of his government is that they have vanished queues at our filling stations. But now look at what is happening. The issue of subsidy, when you look at this issue critically, what is subsidy? We are talking in the first day we are talking of deregulation. All of a sudden the story changed and they are talking of subsidy. To me, there is nothing like subsidy. It's only an avenue for a few to make Nigeria. When you're talking of subsidy, what is PPRA doing?
Now, let me ask you this. Let's try to do a little comparison.
Okay.
The fuel price in Nigeria going to like 160 naira. and some other countries that, we have it. I mean, in Ghana, for instance, it is like one cedi 70 pesos or thereabout. Now, would you say that, was it that the subsidy or the increase came as a sudden, or we are looking at developmental process that this subsidy will bring to the country? Let's do a little comparison.
Oh, okay. Firstly, I would like to denote this comparison that Nigeria should be compared to Ghana in terms of fuel subsidy. No, there's no basis for comparison, because looking at the way things are being done in Ghana, looking at their infrastructures, you cannot compare Nigeria with Ghana. You can't in any way. The healthcare system in Ghana is working, while in Nigeria, our healthcare system, most of our hospitals are glorified mortuaries. They only confirm deaths. They don't save lives. Oh, look at in Ghana. I've been going to public hospitals in Ghana, and I've been attended to. But look at the issue of power supply. The power, it's 24-hour power supply in Ghana. Where Nigerian people are, everybody is relying on. I pass my neighbor's generator to get a power supply. So these are there's no way. It's only a fool, an irrational human being that will compare Nigeria with Ghana in any way. You can't. The security system in Ghana is working. You can roam the street 24 hours and nothing will happen to you. No menace of armed robbery, no menace of Boko Haram. In Nigeria today, nobody can sleep with their two eyes. So you don't need to compare.
In Nigeria today, no one can sleep with the two eyes closed. Student leader, what is the problem? Today, nobody can sleep with the two eyes closed. Now, from the student point of view, how has it affected, the educational system of the country?
Yes, looking at one or two things that has been established, especially the subsidy reinvestment empowerment program, SURE-P, that Mr. President is using as a yardstick, telling us that we shouldn't worry, that this is where the money from the first of this city is going, or will be going, and these are the things it will be used for. I looked at it critically, and it's so unfortunate that no priority has been given to education. He just talked about power, he talked about healthcare system, he talked about fine, but a nation cannot be first if it is second in education. Education is the bedrock. What if all these things are functioning and no one is educated, the youth are not educated, then who is going to handle them? So we are talking about, what we are saying here is even beyond subsidy. I don't know if just, but I'm telling you what is going on out there now. We have over the percentage of the youths to the adults, and everybody knows that the youth takes a large percentage of 70%. We have over 40 million or 50 million students. So you can imagine the infrastructures are not there. Like you said, like you rightly said, we have the influx of Nigerian students to Ghana. In recent years, I'll tell you that people are coming in, and the last statistic we took was we have over 70,000 Nigerian students studying in Ghana. Why? Because we have a system that says after you graduate from school, you have to do a JAMB, Joint Admission Matriculation JAMB, and you keep on doing it. If you don't meet up the cutoff mark, you have to wait till the next year, and you find some people doing it for like 6-7 years. So when you look at all that, and everyone,
they're now private institutions, private universities.
They don't have a joint admission. They don't have an entrance exam.
Everything is virtual.
Yeah, everything is just, when you have your WAS, it's been called WAS, and you can just apply to the schools, and it's not like the system in Nigeria. The system is so, and the educational system, the budget is very low when you look at he was talking about security. There's a systemic failure in the security apparatus. That's just the truth. The people are sleeping open high. That's why I call it sleeping open high. So I think it's more than...
We're sleeping open highs. And I'll be coming to the president now for Nigerian community in Ghana. A few days ago, the Ghanaian police, the Ghana police intercepted a truck carrying ammunition to Nigeria. You heard about the story?
Sure.
Sure.
Now, let me first ask your impression about such attempt.
It's ridiculous. It's absurd. In fact, this is another slap on Nigeria image, which we are trying our possible best to make sure we eradicate such things in Ghana, especially because Ghana is a place, it's a place that they are giving us maximum accommodation with respect and everything. But all this kind of thing, that is why our ambassador is doing a lot of work to make sure that all these things is eradicated in Ghana from Nigerian citizens. But
well, any moment from now, I'll be speaking with Bashorun Dele Momodu, the publisher of the publisher of Ovation magazine, I beg your pardon. I have the publisher of Next in the house. Now, the interception of the ammunition. Now, could it have happened in Nigeria? You know, taking such ammunition to Nigeria for what? Are we looking at, is the country going into another civil war? Or what do you think should have been responsible for such?
Well, most of, when it comes to the issue of arms pile up and all, it's not really something new to Nigeria. It's only in Ghana that we see things like that things like that takes us by surprise. No, in Nigeria, it's something that everybody is. When it comes to ammunition, arms and ammunition, it's everywhere. Our politicians are winning it openly.
Even those that are not licensed.
That's what I'm saying. Our politicians are giving them that they are giving it out to people like peanuts. It's nothing to Nigeria. But the problem I'm having is that in Nigeria there's institutional failure. Things that are serious issues are being swept under the carpet in Nigeria.
Like
if that had been in Nigeria, probably maybe one IPO in charge or something would have been settled. Yeah, we've seen a whole vessel disappear in Nigeria. A whole vessel. So what are we doing? I think we have to look at Nigerian problem fundamentally. When it comes to comparison, I've said it earlier. Don't compare the security system in Ghana to Nigeria. But we thank God that those people are caught, and I'm sure the long arm of the law will deal with them. But the point that I think we should really look at is that the problem of Nigeria lies with the leader. The leaders are the ones. They are the people influencing this attitude.
Now,
they are the ones encouraging Nigerians.
When you said the leadership come from amongst the followers.
Yeah.
Do you want to agree with me?
I agree.
Maybe by tomorrow, what tells me that as you are talking now, if you become one of them, you will not shift the ground.
That's why I'm telling you that there's a fundamental failure. There's need for reorientation in Nigeria. So many things in Nigeria, when it comes to morals has been thrown into the dustbin in Nigeria. People don't see some things as maybe deceitful or all. They're looking at the issue of corruption. Nigerians are not seeing corruption as anything new. The kickback is something that is normal. Yes, when you see a policeman on the checkpoint, you don't need to show him your papers again, because there are people that when you show your paper, they will check on your paper and say your paper is too complete. Anyway, I want to arrest you. For having your complete paper, they want to arrest you.
In Nigeria?
Yes, it happens in Nigeria. So
your paper is too complete.
Yeah, so you have to do the right thing. They will tell you.
So what is the right thing?
You know it. You don't have to
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. What's the right thing? If my papers are right, then what other thing is the right thing?
Yeah, you have to put the police are not. They will tell you that they have not been paid salaries and that they are in the sun and that they are doing your job. So it's something. There are things that have become a way of life in Nigeria. Yes, it is sad.
No, it's
when certain things have become way of life in Nigeria. Yeah, I mean, you want to come in? I see you.
The honest truth is that, if you agree with me, Nigeria is not a failed state. I've always argued that severally. We are going through a season of...
Well, I guess I have Bashorun Dele Momodu online, the publisher of... Please, I'll come back to you, Yemi.
Okay.
Hello, Bashorun. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
All right. Now, viewers at home, I have Bashorun Dele Momodu online. He is the publisher of Ovation magazine. Good. Hello, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Yes, we are looking at the issue in Nigeria. You contested as a candidate, and after almost a year now that the election took place, we've been hearing about bomb blasts, the Boko Haram, the oil subsidy. What is the situation, sir? What would you say is actually wrong in the country?
What is wrong is the injustice of the rulers over the people they govern. Our leaders behave like rulers, they behave like emperors. On January 1 this year, at a time, all responsible leaders all over the world would say Happy New Year to their citizens. Our own leaders in Nigeria chose to inflict maximum pain on the people of Nigeria by withdrawing what they call the subsidy on petroleum products. And since then, we have known no peace in Nigeria. And don't forget that Nigeria is a place where majority of our youths are jobless. They are frustrated, they are disillusioned, and that now has made it possible for the strike action going on in Lagos to be as volatile as it is at the moment. As I speak to you, the strike is going on. People are demonstrating virtually everywhere in the country. The government is saying it will not back down. And of course, the protesters are also saying they will not back down. This is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. I have been in the struggle since 1978 when I became an undergraduate at the University of Ife in Ile-Ife. And I've never seen anything like this. Even during the June 12 crisis, when we thought we had one of the biggest demonstrations, it was nothing close to what we're seeing now. Nigerians are united for the first time. It is not about being Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. Everybody is affected by this issue. And I'm surprised that the government has remained very stubborn about this issue.
Now, Bashorun, talking about government being stubborn, I got an information that the National Assembly has called on the president for a reversal of the subsidy. Would that really hold any sway when we look at the decision of the president and that of the National Assembly?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know if the president is going to listen to the National Assembly, but as at last night, after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council, the president came out and said there is no going back. I think it is going to be very difficult for Nigeria in the next few days if this thing continues. The banks are not open, the petrol stations are not selling, food is fast running out in homes, and I would expect a good leader to listen to the people, because the voice of the people is supposed to be the voice of God. The same people who voted for him, the same people that he pleaded with, the same people that he promised to make life better for are the ones crying unto him. If you cry to your father must listen. But in this case, our leader is behaving like a man who has lost touch with his people, and that is very tragic.
Very tragic indeed. But let me quickly ask you this. The oil workers have also decided they'll be down. They also want to down tools from now. So what would you say to that if we no longer have crude oil in the country?
Well, what has happened is that a lot of people don't know the magnitude of this crisis. They are still thinking that if they are able to reach a deal with organized labor, everything will be over. In fact, we have been able to prove them wrong, because their calculation was that Nigerians were used to demonstrating for only 2-3 days maximum. I've been demonstrating from London last Friday. We demonstrated in Lagos on Monday, Tuesday. We demonstrated in Accra yesterday. And I'm watching television, and I can see that even today, the crowd is getting bigger and bigger. So what they are permutating, their permutation is that Nigerians are timid, Nigerians are lazy, Nigerians are incapable of enduring pain. So it's a question of who we blink first. But it is good that Pengassan, the labor people in charge of our oil are joining the struggle. Because our leaders will not be able to function if they are not making money from our crude oil. This crude oil, the shame of it is that they are comparing Nigeria to Ghana. Every time they argue, they say oil is more expensive in Ghana, it's more expensive in Cotonou. These guys are shameless. Because if they are not shameless, they would have realized that to start with, even the quality of petrol that I buy in Ghana is superior to what I buy in Nigeria. In Nigeria, they just sell one miserable oil to every car. It does not matter whether your car is leaded or unleaded. There is no distinction. That's number one. Number two is that Ghana does not produce the quantity of oil that God has blessed Nigeria with. We're supposed to be the sixth largest oil producing nation on earth with nothing to show for it. The other thing is that we lack infrastructure. Ghana has been able to manage our infrastructure in terms of roads, in terms of electricity, in terms of water. Ghana is marching ahead of Nigeria. And these shameless people continue to compare us to smaller countries that have no resources like Nigeria. What we are spending on our politicians, that I must emphasize, is enough to run the budget of Ghana. Our president this year alone is going to spend $1 billion on feeding himself and his family and his friends. $1 billion is about $7-8 million. There is nowhere in the world, not even in America, with all the superpower of America, the White House cannot budget $10 million for President Obama on feeding alone. We have a fleet of 11 presidential jets, as I speak, under the Nigerian Air Force.
Yeah, Bashorun, before you go, I'd like to ask you maybe one or two more questions. The Attorney General of the Federation, talking about the Minister of Justice in the country, Justice Mohammed Adoke, said the federal government will be dealing with any violent protester and treasonable critics. I want to ask you about treasonable critics. The way you are talking, would you not be termed to be one of the treasonable critics?
Well, I don't know. They are very free to charge any one of us for treason. We've seen it all before. I was arrested in 1993 by President Ibrahim Babangida, and I was charged for sedition, a law that does not exist in Nigeria. So they are getting desperate. That's why they are talking tough. We're not in a military regime. They told us they can do it. That is why they are there. If they can't do it, the honorable thing to do is to resign. So there's nothing treasonable about criticizing a government. I've not asked anybody to take over government. I've not asked anybody to break up Nigeria. I am firmly for the unity of my country, but we're not robots and we're not morons and we're not going to keep quiet. We continue to talk. I'm a leader of men and women in Nigeria, and we have the right to fight for our rights. This thing affects all of us. We have dependents because these people live on free government money, so they can say what they like. But if they speak to members of their family outside, they will know how difficult things are. We all have graduates in our family who have not been able to find jobs for 10, 12 years, and you are telling us not to talk, so we shall continue to talk, and we're ready to be charged for anything they want to charge.
Wow. Finally, what do you think is the way forward? What is the solution to this problem now?
It's for government to be responsive and be responsible. Our government must go back to status quo. Even at 65 naira, most Nigerians could not afford it. What you are telling Nigerians now is that whether they can afford it or not, go and do whatever you can do and find the money to pay. So you are encouraging people to become armed robbers, to become kidnappers, to become Boko Haramists, and so on and so forth. It is unfair, it is ungodly, and something definitely begins sooner or later.
Thank you very much, Bashorun Dele Momodu, for having you on the program.
Thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. So many issues raised by Bashorun Dele Momodu, the publisher and the chairman of Ovation magazine there. And, of course, he was the candidate for Labour Party I guess, CP?
NCP.
LCP. Now, he talked about, treasonable. I will come to you. Treasonable critics. This is a lawyer talking, a higher lawyer, justice. Treasonable critics. Where do we have that?
I think Aduke is not getting it right. But I don't really understand what he meant by treasonable critics. What is it's very simple. It's either you're a critic or you are being charged for treason.
Okay.
Yeah. All we used to hear is social critics.
Yeah,
so now if
right.
this man is
coining word before.
If he's now coining
treasonable
like Jonathan, yes. Jonathan is living by example. Jonathan just coined the word partial state of emergency. So if Aduke too is coining the word treasonable critics, yes, it's following the example of Jonathan.
The partial state of emergency, does he have any position in law?
It's not it's not known to our law. When you are saying you are declaring partial state of emergency, it's like you are saying somebody is dead and that person is alive. Because the constitution is quite clear that the governors are the chief executive of every state in Nigeria.
Okay.
So if you are now if you are intervening in the security situation of any state in Nigeria, you either remove the governor or you leave the governor and leave the matter like that. So if you are saying that you want to intervene in the security situation in Plateau, in Yobe, or whatever, you tell the governor to go. That you are taking over the security operations of the state, that the governor cannot. It means that you are passing a vote of no confidence on the governor, that the governor cannot act. And that is what they call it emergency. It's an emergency situation. Now the Boko Haram is spreading to other local governments. What is all about? It's declaring the state of emergency in 15 local governments, leaving the other local government in the same state. It is not known to law. So all actions of Jonathan government is unconstitutional, null and void. That's why Nigerian people are not listening to them. They went to National Industrial Court to take a black market injunction, stopping Nigeria, stopping labor from going on strike. It is not known to law. Strike action is part of lobbying. It is the right of the people. When the people speak, they can lobby the government through whatever means. As far as that way is not a violent way.
Well, so far it's not a violent way. I got so many information today before I come on air about what is happening in Nigeria, and this is what somebody wrote, and it sounds quite interesting. And that question will be coming to you, the president of Nigerian Association of National Association of Nigerian Students, Mr. Michael Opeyemi. He said Jonathan. He described Jonathan as just on national assignment to harm all Nigerians. I mean, I don't know. I've seen it. You've seen it. Just on national assignment to harm all Nigerians, meaning Jonathan.
That's quite hilarious, but, I would say that I'll start from where Chief stopped.
Yeah.
He said, it's so unfair, and isn't it callous for someone to be earning $135,000 per month? The total amount of the U.S. president's salary a year is $400,000. Now, you're telling us that we earn 18,000 as minimum wage to afford what you see. The chief said something. He said, and we saw the budget. We saw the entire budget, $1 billion budget for feeding alone.
Yeah. But not only him and the vice, the two of them, for feeding of the vice, and some of you who may also want to pay him a visit. Okay. For visitors.
Some of us who want to pay him for visit.
Or whoever.
You see, the thing is, if it's so unfair and callous, and I don't think he has emotions, because this is the same person that thousands and millions of Nigeria came under the sun to vote for. And we fell for that. You told us that you had no shoes. And you give us all those rhetorics. Let me tell you, all this, what is it called? Treasonable critics. And, coining words and rhetorics. No amount of rhetorics now, at this stage will put food in the pocket of an empty stomach.
Okay.
No amount of rhetorics now will put food in the pocket of an empty stomach. You can't be telling me, Grandma, when I'm hungry. Let them go back to the status quo. Is it 65 naira per liter or nothing? Let's just start from there. It's not open to negotiations. The people are out and it's going to be massive.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. I will come back to you. It's going to be massive. No negotiation. 65. Now, would you? I mean, you are the president of all Nigerian community in Ghana. Now, would you say there should be an understanding between the government and the people, a shift from both sides? That maybe the price should go up a little. He just said it's either it is 65 naira, the whole price, or it is nothing.
Well, I can say there can be change. There can be negotiation. That maybe they can bring it down a little, but not to that level. But one thing I want us to look into.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. I could see that you guys are not supporting your president.
I'm coming. I'll come back to them because I'm with them. You see, when you look at a one-legged paralyzed man carrying a load, and you are saying the load is bent, the man said, look at the legs. There is not the load, it's the leg. The thing is, where we have to start from, they didn't start from that place. And let's assume that what they were saying now concerning even the feeding alone of the budget feeding alone of the president in a year is going to billions.
1 billion naira.
1 billion of naira. Well, compared to somebody who is an average man who cannot even afford 3 square meals. You didn't deal with those corruption at the high level. Start with your people, from even your people you are working with. That you look here, people. What my people are suffering, we need to cut our expenses down before we now go to the masses. That okay, I'm going to increase the price of the fuel, but you just wake up one day that those people should continue suffering while you people are continuing living an extravagant life in that place because you are opportunity to be the leader. So that is what we have to look into first before we can even negotiate with the people that they should come. Okay, we will going to increase it small or even bigger.
Okay, the decision whether to increase it a little or not. Loaded Mama, you are a Nigerian, and let's look at the chief just mentioned something that the quality of oil in Nigeria cannot be compared to that. That is more or less a ramshackle that you get over there. This is an oil producing country, the leading oil producing nation, I think, in Africa, and number 6 in the world.
Exactly.
Now, should the price be but the same to countries that do not produce?
Well, I think before I answer that, there's a burden on my heart.
All right.
And that came when he spoke, actually. I want to say that, to be very frank, he always said that there's no need to compare Ghana to Nigeria. I accept the fact. And I would also want to paint a picture. Let's look at a family, a husband and a wife who has 2 children. Husband and wife who has 10 children. Automatically, there is no way we will expect these 2 families and their children to be the same. It can't be. So I was, first and foremost, I really want our government and Nigerians in general to be a little bit sympathetic. Because I realize the more we criticize and shout and somersault, the more the problem is still on. That is really that's what is on my mind now. Nigeria can't be like, Ghana. The population alone is just too much. In fact, there's a time I even thought that, to be frank, that country is too big for one person. At least we needed two presidents and things like that. So now let's look at
how about America?
That's my view.
No, how about America? Because one state in America is bigger than Nigeria.
I know, but you can't compare white to blacks. There's something people always say.
What's the difference?
There's something, to be very frank.
Well, let me come to the place that you cannot compare. Maybe the brains on the black.
I've not finished, Emu.
No, let me. I'm coming, loaded Mama. Maybe the brain on the black is different from the one in the white.
The only thing is that we black men, we submitted to the kind of slavery, even in our mind. We are not think that we can get there. That is the problem we are having now. We believe in the issue of if you can't beat them, you join them. That's how it has been done. Let's continue like that. There's nobody who wants to wake up one day and say no to this thing. This thing has to stop. For instance, if you see Lagos State Governor, it's an example that will show us that Nigerians who can be like America. Nigerians also are thinking like the white people. This man woke up one day and looked at Lagos and said, no, all these things can be changed. And he started doing it. And he's achieving it. I mean, anybody on earth can come up and say, because God has given us, he said, I will strengthen, I'm the one that will strengthen you to do all things. Let us tap into that and continue doing all things. It's not that we think that because we are black. What is wrong with black color? Even black color is even superior to the white color when you go deeply into it. Honestly. But because I don't know what is wrong with us. I have all these pressing questions that I really want to ask a leader one day when I'm one-on-one. Because when I was one-on-one with His Excellency, former President Kufuor, I asked this kind of question, that why is it that when our leader were about to be on top, they continue saying things that will make us to even think they are
second to
angel. God. But when they got there, then they're doing different things. Why?
Could it be the pressure from the country or the pressure? Well, don't let us go into that. I knew you were with the ambassador some few days now, His Excellency Obanikoro, here in Ghana.
Yeah.
Well, what have you gone to discuss with him? You are the president of all Nigerians community. You represent the voice of Nigerians here. What are you telling His Excellency here?
Yeah, I was just, because I had a meeting with the Nigerian community, that what is going on in Nigeria now is outrageous. It has of hand that we need to look into it. That even we in the diaspora, we are feeling the heat because we have family in Nigeria. We are also, and then especially in Ghana, when there's any problem in Nigeria, it will definitely affect our image in Ghana. Because this issue of fuel subsidy removal will make more pressure come to Ghana, in the sense that some of these people who cannot afford their average means any longer, they would like to look for a setup from and their next of kin is Ghana. There will be influx of Nigerians down to Ghana now, and there will be more pressure. And when they are doing nothing, the crimes will continue coming, and which they will continue to. We that we are in Ghana here, that we are doing our business, we are going about our this. This also will continue to tarnish our image. They will say, "Oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that." So they will, because I know since my years in Ghana, over 20 years now. This is one of the ambassadors that I've seen that has been trying seriously to make sure that Nigerians are living in Ghana in order, so that all this issue of a crime is doing everything to.
Now, in your discussion with him, what are you looking at? Because I know he's one of the leaders. Is he in support of the protest, or is he against it?
No. Of course, he's in support of the protest. Yeah. Because he himself is not happy with what is going on in Nigeria.
All right. Well, His Excellency Musli Obanikoro, the ambassador of Nigeria right here in Ghana, or his High Commissioner, is not also pleased. Now, Chief Dele Momodu mentioned responsive and responsible government. How do we draw the line when it comes to the leadership we have in Nigeria?
There are two words.
Yeah.
Responsive and responsible.
Yeah.
They are good to me. When you say a government is responsive, looking at the situation on ground in Nigeria now, you are talking of, you are saying, that what we are importing, that the subsidy, that government cannot continue to pay subsidy. Fine. But is that the solution? Is it the removal of the subsidy or making our refineries work? We have 3 refineries in Nigeria. 4 refineries. Oh, right. 4 refineries and none of them are working. What are we supposed to do? Put these refineries in order.
That will bring about the responsiveness.
Yes. When the government, the government, when a government wants to be responsive, the first thing to do is fix the refineries. Let them be working. Think of building more refineries. But I'm surprised when I heard the Minister for Petroleum saying that government have no business building refineries. How can government be saying that? Because the only place Nigeria is subsidized is on fuel. That's the only place we are getting subsidized in Nigeria. In every other sector, there's no subsidy. Be it education or any other thing you talk about. But what I've just seen is that this policy is not a Jonathan policy. this policy is an IMF policy. It's a World Bank policy. Jonathan himself said it last year when Christine Lagarde, when she came to Nigeria, the IMF boss, that Nigerians are suspicious of the IMF. This is the result of our visit. So Jonathan, even I was ashamed to see our president saying that, well, that we have said it, that we should bring Wiala to so that I should bring her to my government. Now I've brought her and I've handed over our economic management to her.
But this is the
president.
Why?
How can the president saying what is his job? Why is he our president? If you are saying you have handed over our economy to a woman, I don't know, to somebody who is IMF and World Bank infected to come and run the economy of Nigeria, we knew what happened in the first place when this woman came. Obasanjo had to send her away. Jonathan went ahead to bring this woman back again. You will see what will happen. What I just want you to know that when we are talking of responsible, it is now clear that the Jonathan government is an irresponsible government. And that the policies of this government is satanic, anti-people, and irrational. And Nigerians have said it, that they are not going to take it. It's either you listen or the status quo.
All right. Now, I know you are boiling. Now, Save Nigeria, your group, on Wednesday precisely, were on the street of Lagos, trying to say no to all of this.
Let me take it back a bit. When Jonathan was an acting president, the Save Nigerians went out and said, no, there's nothing like that. The president, the constitution made a provision for acting president after 60 days. That the president, that we must have a president, or we want to see Yaradua. But at the end of the day, we are able to do that. These are what we are calling the power of the people, the power of the masses.
Okay.
Yeah, the mass movement. If we can be able to make a Jonathan, to transform Jonathan from an acting president to a president, then we will transform him from a president to a listed president. Because the government is not about this government. The problem of Jonathan is that he failed to understand some 5 vital issues. Government is not about the leaders; it's about the people. That's why we have the social contract theory. I want to be in Nigeria because I want to benefit from the country. I want to be able to have food on my table. I want to have something in my pocket. I want to survive. I want to standardize my way of living. That is why I want to be in Nigeria. But when I'm not benefiting from it, it goes back to the state of nature, which is brutish, nasty, and demonic. Because you do what you like. Because you believe there's no political order. So that is what Jonathan is driving towards. Jonathan is driving Nigeria towards anarchy. If care is not taken. Because the people say
we say no, that will not happen, driving the country into anarchy. Now, he mentioned the power of the masses. The power of the masses. That it is rather, especially in democracy, from the little understanding I have about democracy is saying the government of the people to satisfy the people. The people's government is people's government. The literal, the elementary definition is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now, are we really saying the people, in this kind of issue, is people's voice anything to really count about? You are a student on the street.
The word democracy was gotten from a Greek word. It says demos. It means the people. So, this present administration, it's quite unfortunate that there's no listening here. When the people fear the government, it's called tyranny. When the government fears the people, it's called liberty. So, now, as it is, the voice of the people, of course, like we said, is the voice of God. But the voice of the people does not matter. They say we are stakeholders, but they've taken our stake.
Okay, we are stakeholders,
but they've taken our stake.
Okay.
What they said we matter. When when the election is about to come and all that, they know how to rally around to influence the youths. That we matter then. But when after they've won, they say we are leaders of tomorrow. We are not leaders of now, we are leaders of tomorrow, which means we have to wait. So they keep on telling us we are leaders of tomorrow, not now. But I tell you that the youth has the responsibility to channel a new cause for the nation. The youth are the greatest asset of the nation. When you look at the nation, the country Israel recently, the student union there led over 250,000 protesters on the streets. So you should not underestimate the power of the people. The will of the people must prevail. whether he likes it or not.
The will of the people must prevail, Mr. President, all Nigerian community, so that people don't think you are the president of Nigeria and begin to, the president of all Nigerian community here. No going back. That was the statement of His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan.
All right.
No going back. So what will happen? No going back. Let's begin to look at the solution. Is no going back the right word for now?
In fact, no going back is not the right word for now. Because I know Nigerians, since everybody is on the street now, it's either any reasonable, responsible leader will have to listen to their voices. If you say no going back, that means there is something behind this decision. That means there are some people who really want the downfall of Nigeria. Maybe he's part of them. I'm very sorry to see. Because when you see this kind of gathering in Nigeria for the first time and you are saying no, go back, I think maybe they are ready for revolution, or they know that without this they cannot achieve to divide Nigeria.
Loaded Mama, no going back. Do we say there should be a going back?
There must, not they should, there must be a going back. There must be. I know they may not be able, looking at their statement, their current statement, the government may not be able to totally withdraw,
Back to 65, the old price.
Exactly. They should be able to do something about it. And if they don't, Nigerians by nature will know how it is. If the government don't, it's not going to be a sweet thing at all. Already people are dying. Blood already is on the ground. Government have to do something about it.
Government has to do something. Barrister Tosin Ojaomo, legal practitioner and Safe Nigerian group leader in Ghana. No going back. What would you say to the man who says no going back? He has said no going back to what you have said. So what happens?
So as a parliamentary counsel, the word no going back that Jonathan said to me, from my own semantic interpretation, no going back means that Nigerian people should not go back. Nigerian people should continue to stay on the street. They should continue to say no to this policy.
No, he said no going back.
No. That no going back is for Nigeria. I'm telling you from my semantic interpretation.
All right, okay.
It means that Nigerian people should stay on the street. They should not go back on their stand. Their stand is that they should change that no 65, no activities in Nigeria. All commercial activities in Nigeria should remain the way it is now. The institutions should remain.
Oh yeah, but before your final word, someone said to me that some of the big wigs' homes were being visited with the intention to go and harm them. Those they claim to be oil moguls. Are we trying to work towards revolution, or that will not help Nigeria?
The president is saying that they all the cartel.
There was a report that some oil moguls homes were being visited.
I mean the protesters.
Yeah, the protesters. No. The protesters were going to their homes to deal with them, to, if you like, I don't want to use the word kill, to bring them out, finish them.
Nobody, forget about talking about killing or killing. Killing has been there. We don't know who is killing who. We don't know. Boko Haram, we all know that Boko Haram is killing. Maybe it's Boko Haram that is killing them and they're not shooting the blame on the people. That is not a case for argument. It's not, because the point now is that Jonathan knows the right thing. And the best thing for him is to revert to the old price. If he's not reverting, that means he's saying no to the people. And if you're saying no to the people that elect you, that means your government has lost vitality. That is to say that your government is no more of effect in Nigeria. Because the essence of government is to be responsive, as the chief rightly said. So if it's not happening, then we are no going back on what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria should stay on the street from all angles of the people should troop out and say no to government. People should not destroy. They should not destroy party. You don't need to destroy anything, but they should continue to say no to the policy of this government. It's not even about something now. It's about the other security challenges that is facing the nation. The government should do the right thing.
The government should do the right thing. I tell you, 1 hour might not be enough, but we just have to go. Yemi, let me hear your final word. What's your advice to Nigerians and diaspora Nigerians back home?
I don't want to believe that the government is ignorant of the provision in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, yes. Section 29, 42B, that says that the welfare and the security of the people is the primary assignment of the government. The primary assignment. So, like I said, rightly said, it's not about just the fuel subsidy removal. It's about tackling corruption. It's about cutting the expenses, the exorbitant expenditures. So, no retreat, no surrender.
No retreat, no surrender.
Julius Caesar said,
how much will Nigerians be losing?
Sorry to cut you. Julius Caesar said, the Rubicon is crossed, the die is cast. So I agree with him. No retreat, no surrender, no going back.
Okay, no retreat, no surrender, Mr. President.
My few words of advice to Nigerians, especially the protesters, is to just take things easy.
Including yourself, because you're also protesting.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Okay. Because they should, and then to government, because this is an opportunity for the Abdulams who really want to do a lot of crime in Nigeria. This is an opportunity for them to continue to do their
So the government
crime.
should...
So government should look quickly
Master.
and revisit that kind of decision.
All right. Loaded Mama, your final word?
I want to say Nigeria should be praying for Nigeria. Prayer is better than just shouting and jumping all over the place.
Right.
And finally, Oga Jonathan should remember his humble background.
Oga Jonathan should also remember his humble background. Barrister Tosin, your final word.
It's not myself. It's about the people, and the people have spoken. We don't want to pay 65 naira. So
you don't want to pay 65?
The people, the Nigerian people,
they don't want to pay 160.
They are not ready to pay. They are not ready to pay more than 65 naira for a liter of fuel. So if the government is saying no, that they will not listen to them, then let's see. If it is Nigeria that hold Nigeria or Jonathan that hold Nigeria, then we will know. But it's on.
Well, that is where we'll be rounding off. But I believe Nigeria belongs to everybody. It belongs to Government President Goodluck Jonathan. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to all Africans. Well, I think I want to partially disagree that just on national assignment to harm all Nigerians might be maybe out of way, but I don't think he has any intention to do that. I want to say a big thank you for coming on the program. Thank you very much. Loaded Mama.
Thank you,
and the president himself. We hope to see more of your action.
Thank you.
Yemi?
Thank you very much.
Regards to all students. All right. What is that?
Revolutionary greetings.
Revolutionary greetings. On that note, I'll be saying a good thank you for being part of the program today. We do hope that this will be a lesson to all of us, and other African leaders. You also take note and then ensure that there is peace and harmony in our country. Big thank you to Bashorun Dele Momodu, who called in on the program. We want to say a big thank you to you and my guests and all the production crew. Very large house. I can't mention all of them. I say God bless you and thank you very much. My name is Moses Owopade. I'll see you again next week. Next week I'll bring you the concluding part of Alfred van der Poel as Honorable Mayor of Accra. Until then, have a wonderful week ahead and pray for peace in Nigeria, like Loaded Mama said. Prayer than fighting and jumping over the street. Bye-bye.